Alright, Rimple. We had them once. For 2338. Oh, that was a really good one. That was the one where with the with the giant jellyfish. The kids who have animal masks, like the animal masks, like animal costumes are basically part of the body. The giant jellyfish that can see the future. Yeah, no, great stuff. That's coming out in a month. I really like that one. Which makes me worry that this one might be a longer one. I am feeling a little bit tired today. But Rimple, you wrote, I've heard there's something going around. I heard there's something going around. Okay, here we go. Might be a longer one, but that's okay, that's fine. We'll be fine. Option class Keller. We had a lot of Kellers today, didn't we? Special containment procedures. Access to any documentation or knowledge about SCP-2559 is to be provided only with the express permission of Biological Research Area 91 Site Director or 2 members of the O5 Council. Individuals accessing this document must consent unto any containment procedures deemed necessary by the Site Director, including but not limited to internment for a minimum of 9 days and testing of blood and cerebrospinal fluid at any time after first reading. Instance of -1 are to be contained at Biological Research Area 91 in standard humanoid containment cell. Instances are to be kept alive by any means. Following procedure 555 Vineyard. On-site staff are required to report any unusually colored patches of skin, rashes or joint pain. Staff are also required to submit regular blood samples to pathology with no more than 5 days between each sample. Failure to meet this deadline or attempting to cheat any medical test is grounds for immediate demotion and cautionary internment in accordance with site quarantine procedures. A containment team MTF Upsilon 4 sugar pill is to be maintained and dispatched immediately to any suspected breakouts of SCP-2559. U4 is to be trained in relevant antimemetic and biohazard containment procedures, and the current commander briefed on the nature of SCP-2559 before dispatch. Following containment, all surviving members of U4 are to be treated with amnestics and tests on cerebrospinal fluid performed after a 4-day containment period. Members of U4 are not under any circumstances to retain memories of the nature of SCP-2559, past missions, or inactive teammates. Any deemed infected are to be reclassed as an instance of -1 and brought to Biological Research Area 91 for containment. Those infected in the line of duty are to be terminated unless the number of infected in Biological Research Area 91 has dropped below critical levels. Ethics Committee. Description. SCP-2559 is a fatal viral infection and cognitive hazard. Individuals believing themselves to have been infected by SCP-2559 will in all cases actually become infected. Oh, so if you it's a placebo effect that becomes real. Great. These individuals are reclassified -1. No non-anomalous transmission method of SCP-2559 is known. SCP-2559 variants can be found in the blood within the first 2 days of infection and the cerebrospinal fluid within the first 5 hours of infection. Autopsy of the recently deceased indicates that the variants are produced along with new cerebrospinal fluid in the choroid plexuses. Common symptoms resembling a non-anomalous infection include increased intracranial pressure, hydrocephaly, leading to tunnel vision, and convulsive episodes. In extreme cases, can cause mental disability, stroke, and death. Ooh. Restriction of blood supply to various organs/tissues, ischemia leading to tissue necrosis and gangrene. Extreme cases can cause a stroke. Okay, 2 things that cause strokes right now. Extreme negative reactions to various substances, water, food, sun, heat, cold, various medications, and anesthetics can cause strokes. That would be funny if that actually was part of it. A number of pigmentation disorders, most commonly segmental vitiligo. The tickle will often present as common segmental vitiligo, but may present instead in nodal patterns. See interview log 13. None of these symptoms have appeared in all subjects, nor is this a full list of symptoms presented. Infection has thus far shown a 100% mortality rate with continuous medical treatment following procedure 555 Vineyard, serving to extend life expectancy from 3 to 4 months up to 5 years in ideal patients. Prior to 1995, SCP-2559 followed a predictable infection cycle with outbreaks every 3 to 4 years. It has not yet been determined how or where these outbreaks begin, or if there is any pattern to the location affected. The first confirmed outbreak of SCP-2559 occurred in the town of Dingle, Ireland in 1928, despite the death of 43 civilians in this instance. The outbreak was deemed non-anomalous by investigating agents on unit linked to a similar breakout in Siglufjordur, Iceland in 1933, where agents discovered the virus mimetic properties. See Incident Report 1. Due to a number of similar traits, it is believed that a case of mass hysteria in Wellstead, Australia, now Bremer Bay, in July 1889 may be the first recorded breakout of SCP-2559. Relevant incident. Incident Report 1. On the 1st 12/1933, during initial containment in... Why you have to do with me like this? Siglufjordur, Iceland, 3 junior researchers were found to have been infected and redesignated -1. Instances placed in humanoid containment along with standard quarantine procedures following the return to Site-91, 12 further researchers were found to have become infected. Yeah, of course, because like the moment you think you might be infected with whatever your partner, whatever your colleague has, you get it. It just I can see why it's kettle, because like the moment you think you have what they have, you have it. The spread of rumors within the facility led to rapid spread of infection among the site staff. Oh Jesus Christ. On the 5th 12/1933, site was placed under quarantine after testing showed more than 20% of the staff had been infected. This is not going well. Access Security Report SR 19 1055. Hier kommt die Sonne. At 5:33 o'clock 9th 12/1933, Site 19's radio control room began to broadcast the following unauthorized message to Site-91. SCP-2559 is a mimetic basalt. Repeat fragmentation non verum to mimetic inoculation. Repeat to al in Sawantinep. Tell it will keep them safe. Tell them 100% effectiveness. Tell them all 5 council sends this. Make sure all TA are protected now. CT. They are swift. It is safe. L is at 5:35 site o'clock. Site 19 security apprehended senior researcher Owen Dwyer. 3rd 19th. Oh wait, just 3/19/2025. I'm a little bit confused. Is that supposed to be like the date, like the 3rd, like 19th of March at 10? No, I don't know. The radio control room prevented him from finishing his message. 2 weeks prior, Dr. O'Dwyer had gained unauthorized access to document I-2 research log anomaly 4475 on the investigation November 6, 1933, Hoover et al., and identified the infection spread pattern as matching mimetic spread model M1355 to a 4 sigma accuracy. O'Dwyer believed he could save the lives of uninfected personnel within the Site-19 quarantine by convincing them they were mimetically inoculated. O'Dwyer has been put on indefinite suspension pending review by Site-19 board. Yeah, of course, like he tried to help them, but like he could have just infected more people with it. Addendum 1, the phrase mendacium non verum has not been found in any databases to act as a mimetic trigger, and O'Dwyer admits to its use as a placebo. And out of this, O'Dwyer reprimand has been reduced to 3 months suspension. Dr. Sigrior Levis-Dottir, 3rd, 995, who provided O'Dwyer with a number of unauthorized documents, has had her employment terminated effective immediately. Oh man, what have you done? Addendum 2. Following testing, which confirms Dr. O'Dwyer's hypothesis and the subsequent establishment of effective containment protocols saving the lives of almost 200 researchers, O'Dwyer has been nominated for promotion to co-director at Site 91 upon his return to work. Hey, what about Sikirior, huh? What about her? You would not have figured this out if it wasn't for her to jumpstart this whole thing, you know? Are you going like, you know? Are you going like we employ her, or? As of 23rd 5th 1950, Dr. O'Dwyer has been redesignated -1-74 and should be referred to as such in all documentation. Its history does not warrant a break of protocol. We know in retrospect that use of placebo mimetic inoculation can do more harm than good. While -1-74 action happened to be successful in this instance, it should not encourage other researchers to act similarly rashly. 4th, 91, 4th, I don't know what these numbers mean. Incident report 36, 25th 12 1995 at 4:17 o'clock. Nurse Profio 191 753 reports dizziness and confusion in 3 contained instances. At 5:07 o'clock -1-155 suffers major seizures and dies. Stroke is later attributed to undiagnosed hydrocephaly at 5:10 o'clock -1-139 and -1-147 also suffer fatal stroke. Dr. Rammelkamp 291-500 and Dr. Kreinig 291-549 are called from their sleeping quarters to assist with treating patients as 6 more instances suffer stroke. Between 5:12 and 5:43 o'clock, all contained instances suffer major hydrocephalic stroke. Dr. Rammelkamp and Dr. Kreinig succeed in having 3 instances through emergency saving 3 instances through emergency fluid drainage procedures. At 6:55, all 3 living instances suffer of major cardiac arrest and die. Shit. At 26/12/1995, an unscheduled outbreak occurs in Chengdong, Taiwan. MTF U4 performed a successful containment with 153 civilian casualties and 30 2,559 instances of -1. In light of the apparent link between unprecedented total loss of containment instances and unscheduled breakout, Procedure 555 Vineyard is proposed and implemented following review by the Ethics Committee. Incident Report 40. -1-395, formerly junior researcher Sai was noted to have developed unusually patterned pigmentation on the back of its left hand. Instance was revived from a medical coma for interview. Access interview log 13. Date 29/10/2013. Interviewed -1-489 junior researcher Ken Jonah 291-355. Forward instance suffers aphasia as a result of left brain stroke. See medical report -1-489-7. Dr. Ngayan, Dr. Ngayan, who specializes in speech and language therapy, sits in to assist and translate. Good morning. -1-498. My aim. -1-489 shakes its head. your name? Yeah. Eyes. Its name is Vihan Zai. Ken, it would be reasonable to use that instead of its designation here. No use handling communication any further. Right, yeah. Vihan, do you remember that you were infected with SB2559 in January of 2013? -1-489 nods slowly. I got to virus. Good, thank you. You've been sleeping since then. Big sleep. Don't talk down to him, kid. It understands what you're saying. Just keep your sentence structure basic. Right. My apologies, Vihan. -1-489 gives a thumbs up gesture. Gay. It's gay. Dr. Jonah produces a diagram of 489's hand markings. Vihan, does this diagram mean anything to you? -1-149's, okay. That's a different number, but sure, nods enthusiastically. Yeah, and the, duck. -1-489 gestures, bringing its hands together and opening them upward. Book? This from a book? -1-489 nods. Duck, from my famistry. Famistry? Yes, nah. -1-489 raises its hand, beginning to gesture to it. It notices its marking on its hand and exclaims. It attempts to stand from its wheelchair and falls to the ground. Unimportant dialogue removed. Are you comfortable continuing the interview, Vihan? 489 nods. That's wonderful, Vihan. Thank you. Could you try to tell me what you were saying before? Something about family. -1-489 shakes its head, then points to its palm. Famistry. Palmistry? -1-489 exclaims and claps. Yeah. Duck. A palmistry book. -1-489 nods. Going in desk. Reading morning. Every morning. That's very good, Vihan. Thank you very much. Dr. Jonah turns to speak towards the security camera. Guys, do we have her stuff anywhere? -1-489's personal effects are retrieved from storage locker 17 and brought to the interview room with some assistance. -1-489 retrieves a copy of Basics of Palmistry, Volume 5, 5 Towers, Publishing 2005, and opens it to page 49. Same day one. Same. -1-489 lays its hand over a diagram of a hand on page 49. Location of important lines, symbols, and area in the diagram correlate exactly to markings on -1-489's hand. Same. -1-489 begins to cry. Interviewer choose to end interview at this time. Yeah, best leave them alone. Note: examination of the 12 other instances at the time revealed warping of Blaschko's lines to form patterns in 4 instances. As these patterns appear to follow the patterning of the hospital grounds, policy has been updated to include plain clothing, for instance, and medical personnel working at Inside 91. Shortly after receiving its thiopental injection, -1-489 suffered a fatal cardiac arrest. This has been attributed to the stress resulting from its survival. I mean, yeah, I will definitely do it. Incident report 41. A breakout in Mystic, Connecticut went unnoticed for almost a month. In part, due to unusually subtle initial symptoms, most citizens believed it to be common cold. On the 6th, 12th, 13th, Ernie Becker, the town doctor, contacted the CDC to report a highly infectious illness, with severely sudden onset of fatal symptoms, with 80 to 90% of the townspeople infected. Foundation watchdogs picked up the activity and MTF-04 were activated. Access interview log 15. Oh my god, that's a long ass one. Interviewed Samuel Barnes, MTFU 437. Dr. Lloyd Quayle, 3rd, 391-102. Time date 1 AM, 9th 12th 2013. Begin log. Alright, Private. I just need to get you to brief and then I'll be out of your hair. How are you feeling? Do you need anything sent to your room? No, thank you, Doctor. I'd like to just get this over with. I mean, no offense, just none taken. Let's start at the beginning. Your landing was somewhat unusual. Yeah, it was. We couldn't find anywhere within the town to land and all the choppers, so Commander Steele instructed us in the chopper 3 to land in the town square and work out with while the rest of them set down in the field about 5 clicks out, set up a perimeter. Wasn't any chain of command between us, so Steele put me in charge. I guess for previous experience. Stuff was pretty quiet when we landed. I don't remember seeing anyone around until after we set up the biogear and headed out. Biogear? You know, hazmat suits, shit like that. Goddamn heavy stuff. Chief Medical told us it was only a precautionary measure, but better safe than sorry, I guess. Couldn't agree more. Samuel, what did you see once you did set out? Stiffs, mostly. A good number of homeless folks who hadn't made it through the night. A handful of brave souls who tried to make it through work while everyone took a sick day. I had hide and beef on backing duty, so I didn't get a good look, but a lot of them looked like their necks were all swollen up. That's consistent with the medical report. Many instances were presented with goiters this waves. In goiters, yeah. Herb Hodgson's mentioned that. The med guy. Goiters, shouldn't the S be silent? The debrief, Private Barnes. Yes, sir. We found some live ones too. Once we started knocking down doors, some of them only barely hanging on. Lots of places where we found trashed. Food all over the kitchens, paper covering his eyes, okay, causing me some sleepiness. Paper covering the floor, we couldn't figure out why. Doesn't make sense now. All the quarantine pods were with the other teams, so we just escorted the ones who could walk on the viewpoint, while Hodgson's and the backing crew stretched those who couldn't back to the town square. And was on the way to the rendezvous when you noticed the library, yes? Uh-huh. Frogger heard it first, I think. Big commotion coming from around there. I decided we bring the infected to the rendezvous first, then head over. Turned out they were right beside each other. Anyway, I radioed it and Steele gave me the all clear. Since it was still about 2 clicks out, I left Max and Epi to keep an eye on the infected. Brought Frogger, Drip, and Nixie with me to investigate. Barnes paused for a moment to take a deep breath. It was chaos when we went in. Must have been 300 civilians there, all obviously infected. They were fighting each other over the books, physically attacking each other. The number of bodies on the ground. Not all of them died from the infection, you know. What were they doing with books once they had them? Eating them. Fucking gorging themselves. Ripping out pages and shoving them in their mouths. Those who weren't fighting were grabbing scraps from the floor, otherwise... floor, just chewing on... Why did I say otherwise? Scraps from the floor, chewing on the scarlet covers. I don't get it, Doctor. We're told this infection didn't infect behavior. Let's just continue with the interview, Private. Barnes mutters something unintelligible. Jesus, yeah, let's just get this over with. Let's. Initially, things went well, I guess. I need to see how long this interview is. It's a long one, okay. Initially, things went well, I guess. The activity seemed to be centered around a big pile of books in the middle. There was an infected, a big dude fighting off anyone who came near. I'd say he was late 20s, early 30s. We decided to deal with the rest of the infected first, send them out. A lot of the weaker ones were able to just drag out. A couple required more coercion, some chloroform. Chloroform didn't work on all of them, so Frog and I ended up restraining a lot of them. Everything went wrong then. Everything went wrong when Drip had the bright idea to tell them there were more books outside. Caused a damn stampede. I got Ixie and Drip to head outside with the horde to try to hold them toward the rendezvous. I was hoping Steele and the rest would have arrived by then. Could deal with it. Frogger must have misheard because he headed out too through a window. Fucking Frogger. To the quail, and you were left alone with the infected. It wasn't too bad, honestly. I kept out of the way, and they mostly ignored me. A couple of them asked me for help. I just told them that they found it outside, when the dust cleared, where there were only one infected left to deal with. The big guy. Didn't seem like he'd even noticed the stampede. Took a swing at me when I approached. Approached though. Crossed whatever line in the sand that he established. I decided to play it safe, trank him before things got nasty. That went okay. I think he sprained my wrist, but small beans, really. Bonds rubs his right wrist, takes a few moments before continuing. When he eventually fell, though, I heard something. Someone. On a pile of books. I started digging, found a young woman. I estimated 18, 19. Obviously in distress. It looked like she pissed herself at some point. When she saw the big guy on the ground, she started screaming, attacked me. Private Ingvar Ixi reported you weren't fighting back when she found you. I couldn't, Doctor. I froze. She wasn't wearing much, just a nightgown. You could tell. Yes? You could tell she was pregnant. I just couldn't. Your record shows you successfully subdued pregnant women before. Nkwiro, Kenya? Yeah, but this woman? I couldn't help wondering. What if it had been my wife? My kid? You don't have a wife or child, Private. Right. Yeah, no, of course not. Just... I don't know. I guess I wasn't thinking straight. This woman, she wasn't that strong, but she managed to tackle me to the ground, get my hood off. When Ixi came in, she had no choice but to treat me as exposed. Not that I'm saying she have tried to cover it or anything. You don't feel any resentment toward her? Feelings of betrayal? Bonds frowns and hesitates before answering. It is what it is. I'd have done the same. Like I said before, better safe than sorry. I suppose I still agree. Would it be alright talking about your experience in quarantine? Yeah, of course. You want to hear about the markings, right? Yes, but tell me about quarantine first. Do you feel you were treated correctly? Perfectly. Everyone followed protocol to the letter. They noticed me, obviously, but nobody panicked or tried to rush me through. Processed me like all the other... where was I? Infected. I went through with the same batch as a woman, though she was pretty out of it. I guess Ixi had hit her pretty hard with the dopey gas. When they got us to strip, I noticed what I thought was a birthmark on her left breast. Didn't want to, stare, but definitely looked unusual. It was only when I got into the pen that I noticed another guy with the exact same mark. It was left of the thingy, the sternum. It was the fucking, Bonds make a circle motion in the air with his fingers, but did not continue. Please tell me what you saw in your own words. Bonds rocks in seats, agitated. Private, are you going to answer the logo, Doctor? Bond pulls off his hospital gown over his head. He stands and walks towards the partition, pointing towards the mark on his chest. It resembles a circle with three equally spaced arrows pointing onwards. Our logo. Fucking secure, contain, protect. Bonds punches a glass and sits on the floor. I see. How many infected persons would you say that had that mark? All of them. Every last one. Interviews ended this time. Bonds folds his hand over his knees and remains silent for 3 minutes. Quail organizes his notes and places them in his briefcase. Removes his glasses, pinching the bridge of his nose. Quail shuts off his mic, tricking hidden mics within the room to continue recording. Samuel, I just want to say I'm sorry about your situation. I know it's... You fucking should be sorry. Samuel. No, don't play it like that, like you're my friend. I've read the fucking file. 2559. Steele showed it to me. I was trying to reassure me everything would be alright if I just calmed the fuck down. Didn't realize it only meant I was more fucked. That I've been fucked from the second that girl pulled my headgear off. It's like when you were a kid, did you ever get scared of dogs? I was terrified of them when I was growing up. My neighbors had pit bull. Treated it badly. I would take a longer route to school so as to avoid it barking at me. Right, yeah. And I bet at some point a parent or teacher said the stupidest thing ever. As long as you weren't scared of them, they wouldn't attack, because they could smell your fear. Smell your fear. What kid hears that and doesn't instantly shit their pants? That's what it's like with this thing. Who gets told you don't need to be worried about infection and doesn't immediately worry in some small stupid corner of their mind? That's where it gets you. Those tiny background worries. It slips in through the cracks. Sorry. I know we're not supposed to personify it, but it feels intelligent, doesn't it? Growling, poking at little fucking fishing towns and villages, letting the rest of us crumble on their own recursive insecurity. Or when was the last time someone just retired from this site? There's a long silence in the room lasting almost 2 minutes. You know, I don't remember that woman in MK Guiro. I never talked about that before. I have all these patches in my memory, and that mission is the biggest by far. I get flashes sometimes, nightmares. They're standing over me with my biohazard suit, pushing me into quarantine instead of the other way around. So much of that time in my life is fuzzy. My friends on the squad said I changed afterwards, seemed lonelier, even when we're all together. I figured it was PTSD or something, my own shit to deal with. Thought that's why they transferred me to U4. Everyone knows we haven't had a mission in decades. Kashi details for softies. Vaughn stands and presses his face against the partition, clenching his fist. But that's not true, is it? Because I saw the file. Dozens of missions. All places I've been with other teams. Zimbra, Chengong, Kaliningrad. Samuel, I inquire. I promise you, if it was necessary, Samuel. The number of MTF members we lost before we implement these protocols was you. The glorious fucking foundation. Of course it was necessary. Of course it was for the best. You think I don't realize that? Doesn't mean I can't hate you for it. Who was that woman? I'm sorry, Samuel. Who was that woman, Quail? Medical will be through shortly with the results of your blood tests. End of interview. Who was that woman? Addendum. Following examination of this transcript, the Amnesty Committee believes that there's evidence to suggest MTF U437-1-5555 was tainted in action due to improperly wiped memories of Corporeal Tanya Barnes. -1-408. The Ethics Committee has authorized an update of amnestic procedures on MTF U4 members to encapsulate romantic, sexual, and paternal feelings associated with the deceased teammates, effective as of 15/12/2015. Ooh. What a thing, what a one to end, you know? But yeah, he's right, like, you can't just be like, oh, don't worry about it, don't think about it. The moment you say that, people will think about it, especially if it's the SCP that activates the moment you inform them about something. Like, you could just not tell them about the SCP itself and just tell them what to do. And if somebody is sick, you just kind of like... oh, I hope I don't get it. Because again, it's supposed to, like, you think you have it, and then you have it, for sure. But if you just hope you don't have it, I think that's... like, maybe there's chances that you have it at the end of that will still happen, but maybe it's not as big as thinking, like, oh, do I have this disease? And then, like, yeah, now you do. Now you do. Okay. I am actually I'm going way to bed, to be honest. Yeah.